Many of you requested an emulsified body butter recipe and I listened, so here you go. I hope you like this one. It's my formula and recipe for a 100-gram batch of this emulsified body butter. You can change up some of the ingredients if you are allergic, or someone that will be using this is allergic to oats. Then you can swap the colloidal oatmeal for kaolin or arrowroot powder if you prefer. Just add it in the cool down phase instead. So our first ingredient is distilled water, and to that we're adding our humectant, which in this case is glycerin. I'm using vegetable glycerin. If you don't want to use glycerin, then you could use propanediol or any other humectant you'd like. Then I'm adding colloidal oatmeal. Now this binds to the skin, locking in moisture. It's also an anti-inflammatory that helps to balance the skin's pH, so it's very good for dry skin, and it helps to soothe the skin from itching and irritation. And like I said, if you need to omit this for allergy reasons, you can replace it with either arrowroot or kaolin clay in the cool down phase, but you will then need to use preservative K at around 1.5% instead of the Saligard preservative that I've suggested, because it's more effective in products containing clay. So give that a mix. The oatmeal does somewhat dissolve / solubilize in water, so you can just leave that as is for the moment. Then you want to work on our oil phase, and I'm using unrefined cocoa butter. It's a beautiful humectant that penetrates, moisturises and nourishes the skin and absorbs well without leaving a greasy feeling, helps to maintain the skin's elasticity, and it's a bit harder, so it helps the butter firm up nicely into a thick texture. It'll impart a really lovely chocolatey scent, which is why I chose the unrefined version. And then after that I'm adding camellia seed oil, which is a beautiful, lightweight, extremely fast absorbing oil that contains vitamins that stimulate collagen production. It's said to have restorative properties to help reduce the signs of aging. And to that I'm adding BTMS 50, which is my chosen cationic emulsifier because it's extremely conditioning, and cetyl alcohol, which is a fatty alcohol thickener that thickens lotions and creams and also helps to stabilise the emulsion, and it adds richness for a beautiful skin feel. So I'm going to take those two and put them in a water bath until all of the oil phase is melted and both of them are at about the same temperature. What you will need to do is weigh your water phase prior to that and then weigh it after, and replace any water that you lose to evaporation. Once you take those off the heat, you can pour your water phase into your oil phase and shear mix them with your high shear mixer. This is just a normal stick blender, you can buy them anywhere, same kind of thing as you'd use for making soup or sauces in your kitchen. And just pulse that until everything is blended together nicely into an emulsion. Then if we stir it, we can see it's actually quite thin at the moment, so we need to leave this to cool to around 40 degrees C before we can add our cool down phase ingredients. So after it's cooled, you can see it's thickened quite significantly. So now we're going to add our cool down phase ingredients, which include our preservative, for which I've chosen Saligard PCG, as this is a really lovely preservative for creams, very effective, and also our vitamin E, as I like to include this in any products that I make, just for the antioxidant properties in products containing oil, and also for the skin regenerative benefits. Mix that in by hand. You can shear mix it if you like, but be aware if you do that it does add more air into the product, and you'll end up with more of a whipped texture than a thick butter. So just be persistent and stir it with the stirrer. If you find there are some bits from the oatmeal, don't worry about it, that's perfectly normal. They do just kind of disappear when you rub the cream into your skin, and this is really lovely. It absorbs so fast on your skin, and because we haven't used any kind of scent and just let the natural unrefined cocoa butter scent it, it just smells really nice. And of course, because it is the unrefined version, you're getting all of the benefits of the cocoa butter. If you like this recipe, do go and follow me on Instagram. I post what I'm up to most days, and I also have a Patreon if you want some more exclusive recipes and early access to YouTube. And obviously don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.